What did the Kansas match tell you about your club?
I think told us that we need to be maybe a little bit more physical at times, a little bit cleaner on the ball at times in terms of our ability to keep it when we need to keep it. I thought there were some tactical things that Kansas was a really hard team to play against. Stylistically, total credit to Nate and his staff and what they do. It's a tough game to play. And I don't think I made great adjustments at halftime to set our team up for a great second half. So, I feel responsible for that. I think it was a great game for us in terms of it was hard. It was in front of a loud crowd. They were physical, they were fit, they were strong. They made it hard for us. And I thought there were moments where we were physically tough. There were moments where we were emotionally tough. But then there were moments where we were the opposite of those things. And so we talked about those things right after the game, and I think everybody felt that and owned that. And so it's a good kind of preparation for, obviously, for this weekend. And then next week we get into ACC play, and every moment is going to matter. And we talked about that as well. Every moment matters, and you take a half break, and that's what we did on the goal we gave up. We took a break, and players got in behind us, and they scored a goal, and it was a 1-1 game. So a lot of desperation moments.
Cleaning up the midfield / figuring out roles of the midfield, is that maybe the top priority?
Great question. I think it's been a bunch of things. I think we may have a little bit of a different look kind of tomorrow. I think, in some ways maybe I haven't set our team up for success. It's always a puzzle, always tactically, what do you want to do? Who do you want where? What's best for the team to bring out the personality of the individuals and the personality of the collective group. One thing that has made us different in the last couple of years is teams haven't wanted to play against us because the stress and pressure we put on teams. That hasn't happened in the last couple of games. And so whether that is personnel, where we're playing kids, how we're setting our team up, what we're asking for from our players, Kansas in that environment, or a collection of all the above, probably a collection of all the above, it hasn't happened, right? We've been somewhat easy to play against. And we got to get back to being us and pressuring teams, not necessarily being direct, but putting teams on their heels, finding different ways to put teams on their heel, play the game in the opposition's half. We've been playing too much in our half. So we're going to set up a little bit differently tomorrow and see if we can be on the front foot.
You feel like that long break between the FIU game and the Kansas, did you like that? Did you want a game maybe in between there? Or what was kind of the mindset for that?
I don't think we minded it. I think it was okay. I like, in some ways, you like playing fewer games in this time period because it just becomes an extended preseason. You have a chance to keep your team healthy and build them up a little bit more. What you don't like doing is tying a game on the road and having to wait a week to play, right? So it's nice that tomorrow is Thursday and we get to play again, right? We've all been not enjoying the last 6 days. So here we are. Now we get started to interrupt, but now we have, starting tomorrow, 6 games in 18 days. So time to go.
You mentioned ACC play looming. What are you hoping to see over these next 2 games to get you prepared for the part of the season that really means something?
Yeah, I think back to what I just said in terms of getting back on the front foot, maybe a little bit more role definition, maybe in some of these changes that we're making, organized pressure higher up the field, more numbers higher up the field in both attacking and defending. And just then a little bit of, I think what comes out of that is a little bit of swagger, confidence, not arrogance, but a little bit of front footness and what makes teams uncomfortable to play against Florida State.
Are you starting to get a better picture? I know you kind of talked about this weekend is where you can kind of see who's separating himself, but have you gotten a better picture from when we first talked to you in the preseason to now, what kind of your best 11 kind of strength-wise is?
Good question. I think in some ways, yes, but I still think it's a work in progress. With some of these tweaks we're going to make, it almost, not that it's a total reset, because the last, obviously, 4 weeks matter, but now it's really time for some players to step up, and collectively for all of us to step up. And where it's going to settle in the end in terms of roles and play and starting, not starting, total minutes. Are we going to use 20 players? Are we going to shorten our bench to 16 players? I think some of those nuances still remain unanswered.
On that topic, shortening the rotation, is there part of you that doesn't want to do it because you want to keep them fresh for the entirety of a season versus maybe it will be better if it is less is more?
Good question. I think the priority has to be winning games, right? And you want to find that balance between, you can't just protect your team and now tie every game, right? We got to win games, so that's got to be job number one. And then everybody that's playing has to be helping us win games, right? You can't just get minutes to get minutes and rest kids. So we got to win games. We got to find the players that are going to help us win games. And then at the same time, always have in our brain managing bodies.
You have a lot of young ladies who have won a lot here and also a lot that are very good on the international stage. Post Kansas, do you feel like the leadership from internally of the team was good?
I think in a really good place. I think, we all get measured in tough times, and we said it right after the game. And still, to this moment, I think these older players that run this team and us as coaches are reminding ourselves that we didn't lose at Kansas, although I still am reminding myself as I say this, right, because it felt like a loss, right? But they ache and they have the pains and they hate it, and it's driving a desperation that you need from your leadership.